Scrap that. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is What's Cracking with Next Alakija, and I remain your host, the Next Alakija. Scratch the D. Yeah guys, so last week we talked about relocation lines, and trust me guys, I'm so grateful for the support. I'm so grateful for the likes, for the shares, for the subscription. And please guys, don't forget to subscribe as well. Don't forget to like, don't forget to drop a comment, don't forget to share. Here she go. Thank you. Today we'll be talking about what you need when you're relocating as a student. I'm not going to talk about as a worker because I don't have experience in that, and there's no point trying to tell lies here. So I'm actually an international student here in United Kingdom for my master's. So I'm going to tell you guys what you need as a student when coming to the UK. First of all, if you guys have not listened to my previous video, please go back, because there are a lot of things that I will be picking up from there to talk about in this video as well. So let's go right into the video. So as a student, what do you need? First of all, if you've not gotten your transcripts from Nigeria, if you're coming from Nigeria, if you've not gotten your transcript, if you've not gotten your certificate, you're joking. You have to really get it, because you need it. That's like your number one document that you're going to need, your transcript and your certificate. And when I say transcript, sometimes, you know, in Nigeria, where I'm from, our transcripts as them used to be in like two different forms. One, if you want your school to send it to the school here in the UK, and the other one, your student copy. I usually advise people to have their own student copy. You know what I mean? It's better, and I can imagine the stress you will go through in getting all that. But please, just make sure you get your transcript and your certificate. That's one. Secondly, your passport. In fact, do you talk about traveling without having your passports? Go add up. It's not making sense. Your passport is very, very important, and you need to have it. And lest I forget, let me let you know that when your passport is 6 months to expire 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, I think it's nice for you to just renew before you apply, because that way you're safe and you know that your visa years is complete on your passport, and you don't need to be running up and down to London to renew and to restamp your visa and all of that. So renew your passport. If you've not renewed your passport, renew it if it's about to expire. If you have your passport with you, good. If you don't have a passport at all, please get it, and God will help you, because in Nigeria I heard that there's no booklets. So that's that about that. Also, I would also want you guys to look out for schools. Like I said in my previous videos, look out for cheap schools. Cheap schools. When I say cheap schools, don't look out for schools that are ridiculously cheap, because sometimes the schools might not be really recognized in the UK. And I heard the Prime Minister talking about wanting to stop dependent visa for anyone going to a school that is not really recognized in the UK. So be careful when you're looking for cheap school. When I keep and you're lying Apoya, or how do they call it here? So when you're looking out for cheap schools, also make sure that you look out for schools that are recognized. Please, schools that are recognized. I would have loved to, you know, put out some schools, but do your research, because nobody is going to hold me here. Disclaimer, I'm not an immigration officer. I don't have license to immigration or anything. This is just me giving you experience. This is just me telling you guys what you need, because I've experienced it, you know, firsthand. Yeah. So look out for schools that are cheap, that you can afford. And then when you're looking out for those schools, don't forget to look out for their installments. It is very important. You really need to look out for their installments, because you're going to need it. And let me remind you, it is better you pay off your school fees. See, it's better to owe someone than owing your school. Because by the time you start listening to pom finance, pom income office, blah blah, my dear, you will not even focus on the cost that brought you here. So it is better you owe your personal person, your parent, or whosoever you want to owe, than owing the school. So please make sure you look out for schools that have a very nice installment plan. Over important. Also look out for accommodations. Now the good thing here is that most schools have student accommodations, and trust me, they are cheap. Student accommodations, you don't need guarantor. You need international guarantor, which is back in Nigeria. So you could use your parents, you could use your former boss, or don't have issues with, oh, you have to look for guarantors here in the UK. So look out for accommodations with school, because it's better. The only clause there is that if you're a couple, student accommodation is a no for you. Person and you're coming into the UK, please, student accommodation is recommended for you. It's cheap, it's conducive, it's big enough for you, because you would really enjoy it. I have friends staying in student accommodations and they're really enjoying their stay, trust me. So look out for that. It's very important. Don't go and do a big girl and go and say you want to collect one bed. See, just go and stick to your student accommodation, JJ. And trust me, it's not like the hostels we know. Everywhere will be rowdy and nah. You have your own room to yourself. You have everything to yourself. There's no shout or anything, and there's no like, oh, we're in the hostel, blah blah. One person is gossiping. See, everything is secured. If you're watching me from another African country, I don't know how it is for you in your country, but I'm very sure that you're going to need your certificate. So please get your certificate, get your international passport, look out for schools that are cheap as well. And when you're coming in, have it in mind that you want to go in with the student accommodation. You're going to need it. There's also one thing that you should have in mind. So if you're applying to a school and you've been out of school for 5 years plus, there's a possibility that your school is going to ask you for an interview. It's usually called precast interview. Yes, precast interview. So before they give you your CAS, which is like your COS, certificate of sponsorship, for you to apply, you need you might need to have a precast interview for that. And I'm just going to give you tips about precast interview. They're going to ask you, one, what is your course all about? So you see why I tell you that you really don't need agents sometimes, because if you're done your research yourself, your precast interview is something you shouldn't bother about, because you shouldn't be scared about it. You shouldn't have anxiety about it, because you did your research about your course. So they'll basically ask you, what's your course about? Why do you want that course? What are the opportunities that are there for you in your own country when you're done with this course over here? And also, they will ask you, what were you doing within that study gap that you had? You left school so year, it's been 7 years, what were you doing, and the likes. And you have to explain to them. And then they will ask you about your financial status too. So let them know that you carry money. That's just it. I'll say it in Yoruba for my people that that's just it. If you don't understand Yoruba, look for someone to translate it. Just basically make them know, say you get money, you grab. Make them know, say you carry, you dey loaded. That's one thing you have to let them understand, and be very bold. One thing is, for my school, when I was doing my own precast, I wasn't allowed to look sideways or anything. So you have to be focused on the interviewer and talk to the interviewer as it is. Like, break it down, tell them your course, tell them how you are going to be assessed. For my own course now, let's say for instance, I'm going to be assessed. I'm assessed through theses, dissertations, assignments, group works, no exams. So when I was doing my precast, I was asked, and I had to tell them, yes, I know I'm going to be assessed through my thesis, I'm going to be assessed through my group works, through my assignments and the like. So let them know. If they'll be like, some of them will be like, okay, when you're done, where do you think you could work at? List it out. Nigeria has places you can work. So also is wherever country you're coming from. You'll be very bold when it comes to your precast interview. And once you do your precast interview, God help you, you got it right, everything was a success, your CAS comes out. Now that's where the work starts. Don't forget, while you're also applying for your admission and the likes in the school for you to get your CAS, you'll be asked for proof of funds. So you already know the amount you need. If you don't know the amount you need, go to ukvi.com and check out student visa. You're going to see the proof of funds details and everything, so you know the amount you need in your account. That's one. Also, before you get your CAS, most schools will ask you for deposits. Now, deposit varies. Some schools now, where their deposit is 50% of your school fees. So if you're paying £12,000, your deposit will automatically be £6,000. It was before we used to have the likes of 2,000 for deposit, 3,000 for deposit, 4,000 for deposit. There are still schools that accept £4,000 rather for deposit, £3,000 for deposit. But you see, when you're seeing £2,000 for deposit, be very careful of that school, make sure you find out the installment payment plan. Make sure you know that the school is recognized, because don't go and go to Unilag Annex here in the UK. Don't go and go to University of Ibadan Annex here in the UK. Do you get? So make sure that the school is recognized. There are other schools that are not as rigorous as that, but be very careful. So you have to pay your deposits, like I said, £4,000, £3,000, and 50%. Some people ask you for 50%, literally, like upfront. I even met someone that said they asked them for 60%. Some people had to pay 70%. So you see, and sometimes the school will ask you, pay £4,000 before so months, which is definitely before you resume. Pay another 4,000, or pay another 3,000, or pay another 5,000 or 6,000. So automatically, before you start lectures, you have already paid 70% of your fees, or 60% of your fees, or 50%. That's how it is now. Nobody should lie to you. So once you get your CAS, praise God, I have my CAS. Now it's time for your visa applications. Now don't forget, you must have done your TB test. That's tuberculosis test, which is needed. Have your TB test, which is valid for 3 months. You would need it. Disclaimer, you don't need it when you are entering. You know, people say, yeah, when you get to point of entry, they will ask you. I've never seen anyone they ask. In case you've seen, please drop in the comment section. But for me, I wasn't asked for my TB test, but you need it for your application. Once you have that, your proof of funds is still there for your visa. Don't forget. Now you have to go pay for your visa and your IHS. IHS is International Health Surge, which is what is like your health insurance here. Everybody has to pay for IHS, except you're coming in as a nurse, yes, and you're working with NHS directly. Everybody has to pay for IHS. So as a student, you have to pay for your IHS and your visa fee. If you have a US dollar card, you can pay with that. If you have a Naira card, you can pay with that, equivalent of it. If you have a pound card, you can pay with that, no problem. Now, once that is paid for, you book for a date for your appointment. Once you get your date for capturing, or you just need to come with your appointment letter for that day. You need it. You need your appointment letter for that day, and then your CAS, your passport. Definitely you need your passport, and that's just it. It's just capturing, checking your name, and they will ask you, look at the camera and say your name fully. That's all. So once your capturing is done, all you need to do is just wait for your visa decision. While you're submitting your pay for your visa fee, there are forms you need to fill, there are documents you need to attach, which include your CAS, admission letter, certificates, transcripts, proof of funds, everything, your CV, your study gap evidence. This includes everywhere you've worked, your employment letter. It has to tally with your CV, resignation letter in some places, pay slip. Pack everything, because you don't want them to come and be sending you, what do they call this? So if I remember, I'm going to put it here. It's like a letter that comes after you've submitted your application, you've done your capturing. They will now send you another mail and say, sorry, we're working on your application and we're going to need further documents, so please send these further documents. Then they will now check again. Your application will now start again, so it gives that delay. Do you get? So at the beginning, just make sure you put everything, every document putable, put it there for them. Anything they need, let them be looking for it there. You get? They don't need to now start calling you or sending you a mail, and then they'll now have more weeks on it, and then you now have to be worried about it. So once your visa result is out, once your visa success email comes out, you have your visa. All you need to do is go back to IOM, wherever you get your via Abuja, and collect your visa. Literally, that's just the steps that you take to apply. You see that it's easy. All you need to do is information. Any information you're looking for, UKVI is your best. In fact, that's the best place for you to get your information. UKVI gives the latest information. If they say it's 8 weeks, it's 8 weeks. 4 weeks is 4 weeks there. So nobody should tell you that, give me money, I'll go help you run out. I'll go help you do sharply. See, trust me, you don't need it. You can do this yourself. Just be sincere with all your applications. Sincerity, that's just all it costs you when it comes to UK application. Sincerity is just everything you need. And also, be mindful of time. So you're resuming by September, you're wondering, should I start applying? Yes, you should start looking out for schools. You're planning on coming to the UK by September, start looking out for schools, because if you get your passport by August and you leave August, you know, your school resume September, there's open day for your school, there's induction, there's a lot of things. You know, it's an opportunity for you to be at the front of it and, you know, show yourself. So start planning your ways now if you want to get in by September. Don't wait till I want to wait till July. Wait, September is almost here, so don't wait, because that's when the rush comes in. People resume more in September than in January, and that's where the rush comes in. Everybody will be running up and down and all of that. So if you want to start. There's no crime in getting to the UK early. There's no crime in that. If you get here late, you see the stress. Oh God, the stress is so much, and I don't want you people to go through that stress at all. So make sure that you try and get here as soon as possible. That means that you have to start your application as soon as possible. Disclaimer once again, I'm not an immigration officer, I'm not licensed. This is just me giving out what I know from what I've done and from what I've experienced. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying to the end. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to share. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.